Welcome to Thoughts on Theology, and we are your hosts. This is Andrew, I'm Pastor Martin, and today we are in the seventh commandment of Luther's large catechism. And the seventh commandment's all about stealing, but it goes a little bit beyond just stealing, right? I mean, he does say pretty clearly towards the beginning, and this is line 224, for to steal is nothing else than to get possession of another's property wrongly. And briefly, this includes all kinds of advantage in all sorts of trade to the disadvantage of our neighbor. It's a pretty simple common understanding. Thou shalt not steal. Okay, got it, check, move on. But it goes a little bit further than that. What are we talking about in the seventh commandment? What's Luther keep on going back to within this?
It's being honest in your dealings, really. It's making sure that you're not one-upping someone else. And yes, in most of business, you have to have a product and then sell it at a margin, and that's where your profit lies.
Yes.
But it's doing so in such a way that isn't taking advantage of the people around you. If we continue down in 224, as we've just said, to steal means not only emptying our neighbor's money box and pockets, right, the literal pickpocketing, let's not do that. It also means grasping property in the market, in all stores, booths, wine and beer cellars, workshops, and in short, wherever there is trading or taking and giving money for merchandise and labor, right? It's making sure that we're serving faithfully in whatever our vocation is, in doing honorable dealings in the marketplace.
Yeah, the idea here is your neighbor doesn't exist to make you money. Instead, you exist to love the Lord your God and to love your neighbor as yourself. You're trying to do them a service. And yes, there is, within our understanding, there's the need for margin, the need for profit. That's great. That's how we care for our neighbors being our families. But there's a huge difference between, hey, I need to make enough so that I can take care of my family, and I'm going to price gouge this to make sure I just eke every little bit of profit out of you, because what you're doing at that point is you're not being loving towards your neighbor. And you're certainly taking care of your family. That's good. First priority that he has given to us. These are the people under our charge. And yet, the person who is across the business table from you is also a person that you are to interact with faithfully and with love. So, not saying, say you're, at a car dealer, the car salesman, doesn't love you well. He just says, hey, you know what? Just take the car for free. Don't worry about it. That sounds
none of the
very
system
loving.
works. Yes. Yeah.
But that's not, because then he's not taking care of himself, he's not taking care of his family, he's not taking care of his boss and the business that he's a part of. That's not loving. At the same time, if he goes in there and says, hey, I know the sticker price is this, but with these 15 extra fees and with these extra things and these imaginary fees that we want to add on to it, I can make sure I get just as much money as possible out of you. He's also not faithfully serving the people that he's called to serve.
And we've talked about this throughout the different commandments. It's the heart posture. It's seeing that other person as worthy and valuable and not just seeing them as a cog in your economic machine. Making sure that you're dealing with them fairly and not just like, I could really pull one over on this guy and make an extra $30 on him. I think I will. So it's that heart posture of seeing that other person as worthy of honest dealings.
Absolutely. And if you keep on going, this is the biggest example that he uses in the seventh commandment, is this idea of business dealings.
Yeah.
Much more so than I walked into the store and I walked out with some candy in my pocket. That is, of course, theft.
Right.
But it goes beyond that. This is what it says in line 231. This is, in short, the way of the world. Whoever can steal and rob openly goes free and secure, unmolested by anyone, and even demands that he be honored. Meanwhile, the little burglars who have once trespassed must bear the shame and punishment to make the former thieves appear godly and honorable. The idea, again, is if you can do this in a legal sense, then we assume that this is good. I haven't broken any law because it's legal to price gouge on this, or to do this unfair thing in the market, or to take advantage of the person next to me because, well, there's no man-made law against it.
That was an interesting point that I saw him make throughout the time, that, yeah, those business owners that are making hand over fist in a little bit of a shady way, well, it's not unlawful. Okay, great, do more of it. That's what he's saying, that the world says, yeah, you can even demands to be honored. But yet that person that, yes, is the open pickpocketer going into Walmart and stealing the thing, yeah, they're going to get thrown in jail. Which, again, both things are stealing, but
Right.
one gets recognized and one doesn't.
Well, and the difference is one is recognized by the state, and one is or both are recognized by God. And that's really your difference. Is your man-made rules, they allow for certain amounts of this kind of activity, whereas God is like, my rules kind of come first. They totally come first, and while you might be honorable in the sight of mankind, that doesn't mean that you've kept my law.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of especially in our world today, man, this kind of hits hard. It's convicting.
Yeah. And then with each of the commandments, he talks about what thou shalt not do, but also talks about what you should do. In 2:33, therefore let everyone know his duty, at risk of God's displeasure. He must do no harm to his neighbor, nor deprive him of profit, nor commit any act of unfaithfulness or hatred or in any bargain or trade. But he must also faithfully preserve his property for him, secure and promote his advantage. This is especially true when one accepts money, wages, and one's livelihood for such service. And I read a book a long time ago, and I forget the Adam Grant was the writer, and it was called Givers and Takers.
Okay.
And it was the whole idea was in business, and really as a person, there are people that are givers and takers. And there's one other category, you talked about the matchers, that whenever you get something, you want to match it and give and take.
Even Steven.
Exactly. And so in life, you would expect that the takers, the one that always take and take more, that they would end up ahead in life, or maybe they would end up economically ahead.
Okay.
And he said that's true for most of the bell curve, but those at the extremes, those that are actually making the most, and yes, those that are taken advantage of and at the lowest, are the givers. The ones that are actually the most generous with their time, their resources, their, what skills they have learned in the marketplace. If they give those away freely, they actually advance to the highest. And so that's what Luther is encouraging us to be, is to being able to have skills in the marketplace, whatever it might be, in our vocation, that we can give to others to promote their good as well. So
Yeah.
I think that was interesting.
Well, that plays really well with what it says in Malachi, chapter 3, when it talks about the tithe to the Lord. Now, for them in the Old Testament, there was the 10% tithe of your income that would go to the temple to support the temple and to support the priests and whatnot. And the idea is that they were just, at the time, people were like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll skim that top. I'll keep more for myself. I'll take more and I won't give. And God even challenges them and says, I know I say, don't test me, but test me in this. Bring in the full tithe, be the giver, and be more generous with what you have, and see if I'm not going to throw open the floodgates and give you more blessings than you even know what to do with. And that's the idea that Luther points out too. Is look, if you're a giver, if you're that person who's like, man, I want to be generous, I want to love people, I want to love them well, there's great blessing that is often, not always, but is often comes back upon us.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. Is there any? What else do you have in here to talk about?
I mean, there's some pieces at the line 245, for example. Again, he makes the same general point, but that we've been making. If you're just a taker and you're just a taker, well, expect things to be taken from you too.
Right. That's a good point.
He says, in short, if you steal much, you can expect that much will be stolen from you. He who robs and gets by violence and wrong will submit to one who shall act the same way towards him. And so it's interesting. It's the if you live by the sword, you'll die by the sword mentality. If you're maybe kind of a terrible business practicing thing, and you're scamming people or whatever, well, expect that you're surrounding yourself with people who are
Doing the same thing.
doing the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I think about some of those guys that they'll run a practice, they'll run a business, and it's great, it's faithful, it's serving, and then newer folks will come in, and it's just this giant culture war between like this is how we take care of people, and this is how I make the most margin. And it's difficult to see those two cultures collide. And I've heard of people even retiring and saying like, look, this isn't the kind of business that I wanted to be a part of. This isn't how we're taking care of people. We're just about the money here, and walking away. Interesting and very a bold move, especially in our world.
Yeah, that gets into a way bigger conversation about what is the purpose of business? Well, it's stockholder equity, and that's really a new, very, very modern thing. That used to not be the purpose of business. The purpose of business is to do good business and to provide a product to the market at a reasonable value so that people will buy it. It's not just to raise your stock prices and have the bottom line be the biggest thing. Whether you fire a bunch of employees and underpay people, that's how you affect your bottom line. But it was actually to provide the best product at a value. That was the basis of business. So
I mean, that's such a giant shift. This is a giant shift for us as in our mind of thinking. It's one of those like, okay, that sounds great. It's a great idealistic concept to say, I want to go serve people, I want to love them well. But realistically, like, how in the world can I go about a practice or business that I can do this and do this fairly? And I think part of it, Luther even points to towards the end in line 253. He says, "Here then you have a rich Lord. He is certainly enough for you. He will not allow you to come up short in anything or to lack." That's Psalm 37, verse 25. So you can, with a joyful conscience, enjoy 100 times more than you could ever scrape together with unfaithfulness and wrong. And his whole point is like if you do this faithful practice, there's blessing there. Your God sees this. And it's not like, well, because you did something good, I'm going to, instead it's just God loves his people. And so, but generally speaking, we talk about this all the time with all of the 10 Commandments, is if you do this, it's probably going to go well for you, right? Fourth commandment, if you obey your parents, you're probably not going to get grounded. If you refrain from murdering people, you will probably not go to jail. It will go better for you to obey the commands. And the same thing goes with stealing. Whether it is the outright stealing of, again, the candy in the store, or something major like a bank robbery or something, whether it's something minor like time theft in a business, whether it's something like unfaithful business practices. In all of these things, it's going to go better for you if you're listening to the command and to the Word of God. And that might cost you some things too. But in the long run, it's better.
yeah, I think about all the different, we have Google reviews now. Mm-hmm. And you have a business. Let's just go with the plumber guy that I hired for way back when. He had a couple really good reviews of people saying that, hey, he went the extra mile for them, those other people, and those great reviews. And then I chose him, and I gave him a lot of money because I trusted that he would do good business, do good work for me. And he did. And then I wrote him a great review, and prayerfully that helped him in his business. And so that's what we're talking about is do a good job and be a blessing to other people, and however that might be. And because you did that, then good business will come to you.
Right. And again, you said it already, and it's a good way for us to finish as we look at this commandment. It goes back to the heart. It goes to the heart. Are we loving our neighbor well? Are we promoting them? Are we protecting them? I love what you said about the review things. It's like we've talked a lot about how you're in the business practice and you want to sell things for the right price, or buy it for the right price, or whatever. But as a consumer, how do you do the thing you're supposed to do for others and help another person in their possessions and their property and their business, and how do you bless them? Well, you can send a review, and if it's an honest review, please, but send a review of how they were a blessing to you. It's a great thing to do. To again bless your neighbor. It's all about the heart. It's how do you want to love your God, love your neighbor. Whether that neighbor is the person at home that you need to support, whether that person is your boss who is helping you in this business, whether this is the consumer who is across the desk. All these ways, we just want to love our neighbor. Yeah.
So that's how you shall not steal.
That's it. So those are our thoughts today, and we will see you next time.